Our mission is to celebrate the abilities and develop the strengths of the children with special needs and chronic illnesses 7 to 17. This mission actually came from our founder Eddie Mulock, who is actually a Kiwanian himself. He was, recovering from his heart transplant and looked around a hospital one day and wondered what these children did during their off time when they weren't in school and they weren't in therapy or at the doctor's offices. And many of the parents had the same answer. There is nothing. There is no one that will help us with children because it's too much of a liability. So he decided that he was going to devote the rest of his life to create a special place for these children. And it's been my honor to actually serve with him and develop his mission even further. We started with only 50 children a year that we're serving. Now we're serving upwards to 600. And we know that there are thousands in Manatee County, 7,500 close to exactly the number, and then almost 365,000 in the state of Florida. So we know that we have the ability to grow once people begin to learn more about us. I've been with the organization for almost 8 years, and this is actually the second time that the Kiwanians have chosen the Foundation for Dreams to as their charity of choice for Better Manatee Day. It means so much on so many different levels. One, what it gives to us as a camp and an organization. We are a staff of 3 full-time employees. We cannot manage these grounds by ourselves, so having so many extra hands to help us with needed projects is so amazing. Second, it's so amazing for the children that we serve. We've had some of the same picnic tables, some of the same benches, the cabins out here for almost 20 years. So to be able to have the funds to replace them and the manpower to put them together, it's truly, truly such a gift. Most of the staff out here are going into fields like nursing, exceptional student services, PT, OT, neuroscience, you name it. They want the experience of working with children firsthand. We've had, staff come from Iowa, Idaho, Tennessee, New York, from all over our local state colleges, and we're very particular about who we choose. You can't learn passion. We can teach them anything, and they do have to go through our 80-hour training where they learn many, many different skills to be able to work with the children that we serve, because in many cases, they might not be serving the same type of child each week. We have children with autism, children with spinal bifida, children with cerebral palsy, children with ADD, learning disabilities. We don't just work with one type of child that has, a special need. We work with all children with varying exceptionalities. These parents, many of them don't sleep through the full night. They don't have family that understands their child quite like they do. Even, birthday parties or, regular, other programs that serve children during the summer, there's very limited resources for them. So to have a place where they can get that respite, once or twice a month, and then during the summer for their children is very rewarding for them. And it's also strengthening for the family. It strengthens the overall family unit. Parents say many times that they are so thankful to be able to spend time with their other children. They're thankful to be spending time with their spouse, rebuilding those relationships, just doing daily tasks that they can't do on a normal basis, I don't know how many times you've heard it through my staff. Our motto is that the things that make us different make us beautiful. And, there's such in this society, we should be more inclusive of everyone and accepting of everyone. And, out here, we accept everyone for who they are. And to us, that's beautiful.
I think we look at what Foundation for Dreams does in this community and this area. We see all the great camps they put on, and the need they have out here is especially to keep this place ship shape, so to speak, up to date with equipment, and just to keep the kids safe using proper stuff that we buy, and so they can have fun. This project was selected by our president, and this was one of our 2 projects we did this year. We was able to purchase picnic tables, landscaping, swings. We're going to paint today, and it's just one of our big projects for the year. Our membership in Kiwanis is very large with the Bradenton Kiwanis Club, and what we look to do is give back to the community. This is just one way a member of Kiwanis can give back. We're only asking for this project 4 hours. I believe we'll be done early because we have so many people that are here, but that's the kind of dedication our members have to give back to this community. Bradenton Kiwanis has been around for a very long time. We are very much active in our community with projects like Better Manatee Day, Kids Against Hunger, every Christmas in August, Every Child a Reader, anything that we can do to give back to make the kids of Manatee County better for, staying in school, or just helping out in ways that some families may not be able to give the kids. If you look at this camp, if you've never been out to this camp, this is a perfect place where kids can get away from the hustle and bustle, get out here with other kids, and have fun, to be a kid. And that's what makes this project so worthwhile.
$250,300,000 a year go back in a variety of different ways. Sometimes we give to one big project a year, and then a bunch of small ones. Sometimes there's 3 or 4 or 5 nice-sized projects that we donate to. But I think more than anything, we've got just a great group of folks. Membership is about 160, and we just touch the community in so many different ways. This project is extra special because it focuses on the disabled of our community, and I personally have not been here at Dream Oaks Camp. I've been at Camp Flying Eagle many times, but this is a treat to be here, and we're happy to be doing this project. Each year we give back probably about $250,000 to the community, and it's just one of the many ways that we try to support not only the children of our community, but also our community as a whole. Well, in addition to the picnic tables that my team is working on, we've got painting going on, there's landscaping going on, just any help that these folks need out here. We're providing both financial support as well as some sweat equity today. We don't hear a lot about the homeless of our community, and that is another way, and probably our biggest project of the year, that we help those people. We serve up to 500 children a year, and it's one of the most feel-good projects that we do all year. It's usually, for anybody that's watching, usually the hottest day of the summer. So, but it just, most of us don't think about the homeless, and that's why it's so important to us to be able to serve them in some way.
So my name is Lydia Gartner, and I am Marketing and Community Relations Representative for Foundation for Dreams. I have been working here for about 4 years now. I started just doing summers as a program specialist, the Arts and Crafts Director, and then the next summer I was Program Director, and now I am full-time, and it's my dream job. So every year we have 7 weeks of summer camp, and then we also do weekend residential camps throughout the year. We have residential camp over the summer as well as day camp, and we serve children with a wide range of disabilities, from autism spectrum disorder to Down syndrome to cerebral palsy, all the way to ADHD, learning disabilities, mood disorders. We really do it all out here. All of our counselors are over the age of 18. They're all first aid and CPR certified, and they're all going into relevant fields such as ESE, speech therapy, occupational therapy, communication disorders, neuroscience. We have a really wide range of majors, but they all have that passion. They all have the love for our kids, and they have a great deal of knowledge base. So every week we do canoeing and horseback riding. Those are completely adaptive. We believe here that we will not do an activity unless every single child can participate. So we will actually take our kiddos in wheelchairs, get them on a horse, get them in the canoe. We do adaptive yoga. This year we're actually bringing in a dance movement therapist. We do arts and crafts, sports and games, swimming, science, cooking, nature. We really do it all. So it's very special for our kids because a lot of the campers that we serve, they don't necessarily get the opportunities that a typically developing child might get. They might not get invited to the slumber parties, to the birthday parties. A lot of their family members might not know how to care for them. So here is a place where they can just be themselves, be a kid, be celebrated for their abilities and not looked at for their disabilities. For the families, it's a great source of respite because it's extended, it's overnight. They get time to spend time with their other children. They get time to go on a date night. They get time to go grocery shopping. So the comments that we receive are very powerful from our families. One person actually recently just said it was the first time in 8 years that her and her spouse slept through the whole night. So it's very powerful. It's a chance for them to recharge, and then they are able to parent with a little more grace and a little more patience because their battery, is recharged, and they get that respite as well. So this event is very special for us because we only have 4 full-time staff members. The rest of our staff is seasonal. So it's very powerful when volunteers come out here today. We are so appreciative for the Kiwanis Club. They're building tables, they're building swings for our kids. Swings are very important to our kids for, sensory needs. So that's a very important thing that they're doing. They're doing landscaping. These cabins are homes for our kids and for our staff over the summer. So it's very important that they're inviting and welcoming. So the work that they're doing here today is very important to us and very valued. So we're very appreciative for it. Our campers see this place as where they belong. They see it as home. They are so excited to come to camp. Every year, we have themed weeks, and the counselors at the end of the week will actually make an award and present it to the camper on stage. So we have campers that when they receive that award, they will sleep with that award for 3 weeks afterwards. We have campers that will pack their bags months ahead of time, ready to come to camp. It's a very special place for them. Well, so there's actually over 7,000 children diagnosed with special needs in Manatee County alone. We only serve about 300 of those children a year. A lot of people say, I didn't know you were out here, or, you're so tucked away. So really, we just are trying to get the word out and trying to help the community realize the importance of camp for children, and to not only see us as a fun camp, but as a resource for these families. When a child comes, they're actually given 2 goals that they work on during that week. And counselors are using strategies that they then share with the parents so that that success can transfer into the home, can transfer into the school. So we want there to be fluidity between the home, school, and camp, because camp recreation is so important, especially for these kids, to get unplugged from those iPads, unplugged from those TVs, out here in the nature, out here exploring and making connections, making relationships, while still working on those goals. It's a very unique place to make those gains. So you can go on our website. It's www.foundationfordreams.org. That's where you'll find the camper application. That's where you'll find a volunteer employment application. Our office number is 941-746-5659. You can call us up. We love having people out here to see us in action. Call us up, take a tour, come out and see the kids over summer camp, see what we're doing here, see how special this place is, because really this is the place where the things that make us different make us beautiful, and we love it very much.
I started working here in October of 2015, and I got involved just because I heard from Mariah, the director of operations, how beautiful of a camp this is and the experience, and I thought that I would want to come out here and just get involved and see if I would like it. And I've just fallen in love with the experience, and it's changed my life in so many ways I would have never known. We do have a wide range of activities. The kids come here on Monday, and we do things like yoga, horseback riding, walking around in the woods with no aims at all. We do arts and crafts. We eat meals together. We sing songs. We dance. Really, it's all about just like having the kids come here and feeling accepted and feeling like they belong, and just spreading the love with everybody. It's one of the most rewarding feelings, and hearing how the experience affects the campers and the families that are involved with bringing their kids to camp here. It's just, I can't really put it into words how it makes me feel, and just knowing like what I'm doing for these people. There's no other place like this that I know of on the earth that takes kids like we take into this camp and just give them the experience that they have. Last summer we had a child come from another country, like somewhere in China, somewhere in Asia, because no other camps would take him and his level of disability. And that's just the thing, is like, we take all campers here. We don't turn anybody away.
I am Mariah Pasco. I am your program director. I'm in charge of running all the activities at Dream Oaks. I started volunteering here in 2010. Weekend camps is when I started. Came on staff officially as a CIT summer of 2011. I've been at Dream Oaks ever since. They can't get rid of me. I started running activities as the program director 3 years ago. So I've been here for a minute. We like to say that we're Mary Poppins. We have a bag of tricks for just about any activity. We go anywhere from your basic kickball game to a color war food fight. We do canoeing, sports and games, arts and crafts, archery, swimming, pontoon boat rides, horseback riding, cooking class. The kids have just recently started doing cooking class. I've added science class. We go on nature walks. We make journey sticks. We build boats out of twigs. We race them in the pool. We do build your own anything I say. We'll give them cardboard and we can tell the staff, make me a tiki hut. And they will just work with their kids and they'll create something amazing out of just glue and glitter, really, is what we run off of here. So it's really awesome because, you know, I tell everyone I run all these activities all the time. You know, we come up with these crazy games for these kids and half the time it's just the kids that make every activity. You know, it's like I could ask them to bounce a ball and it would be the most magical thing ever because they just make it what it is. We adapt every activity so that every kid can do it. I never want anyone to come look at our camp and see the kids and what they're not able to do. I never want them to look at an activity and think that kid can't do that. I want them to look at an activity and think, wow, look at all of those kids doing that successfully. If one kid can't do it, we don't do it. If one kid needs a little special help, then we change the whole activity around to where everyone's doing it that way. So that's the cool way, and that's the new way that we're doing it. You know, sometimes our kids get a little scared, you know. I've never been on a horse before. How am I going to be able to get on that horse right now? And that's when I would lead on my counselors to comfort them. You know, they know these kids on a level. They're spending every waking moment of every week with these kids, really diving into their worlds. You know, you can have a child with severe autism, and these counselors will take the time, they have the patience and the understanding to really get in that kid's head and not bring them to our world, but for us to get inside of theirs and for us to really understand what would motivate them to do that activity. How can I make this activity fun for this kid? Maybe they can't engage right away. Maybe they need to take baby steps. Maybe they need to start petting the horse before they can get on it. Maybe they need to brush his hair. Maybe they need to comb through its mane. Maybe they need to do something along those lines. And I would really depend on my counselors for that, to comfort their kids and to make them feel comfortable at all times to do whatever the activity is that we're going to do. I think it's very important for our kids to have structure. You know, a lot of our kids need to see that schedule. They need to know in advance what's going to be going on before they do it because it comforts them to know what's coming next. Some of our kids need a 5-minute warning. You know, in 5 minutes, we're going to transition to this next activity, so I need you to be ready for that. So having a schedule and that structure is fun because some of our activities are so unstructured. They're very fun. You know, our general goal out here is to just have fun with these kids. They deserve every minute of all the activities that we're giving them, and for them to see a schedule and to know what's coming next just helps them prepare for what the week's going to look like, you know. Parents come here exhausted, you know, and they have every right to be. You know, these kids are special, and it requires a special kind of person to take care of these kind of kids, and we understand that exhaustion, and a lot of us might be exhausted ourselves by the end of the week, but you come back and you see these parents in a new light. Their skin is brighter, they're breathing easier. They've had a week of relaxation. You know, some of our parents were like, what did you do this week? Did you have fun? And they'll say, I did absolutely nothing, and I loved every second of it, you know, because they don't get that break, that simple time to just chill out like the rest of us get, you know. They don't get that. So for us to be able to provide that to not only the kid but to the family, you know, they get a chance with their other kids that might not get that kind of attention that they deserve, because one of the other ones takes up a little more. They just need a little more time from that parent. So it's really rewarding for us to be able, you know, their parents are so thankful, and it's so amazing. I wish 1,000 times that I could thank the volunteers on the level that they deserve to be thanked, because, you know, they come out here when the kids aren't here necessarily. They're doing work projects that wouldn't necessarily be safe if the kids were here. But they're just projects that are so needed and so rewarding for us. The simple fact of like the front of a cabin, having the landscaping done, having it painted, it brings a comfort level to the parents to know that their kids are coming to a beautiful, well-maintained place. And our volunteers, really, we wouldn't run without them. You know, there's only so much you can do in a week with the full-time staff that's here. So we really depend on them, and I can't thank them enough for all of the stuff that they've done today. I mean, you can't do that. You know, there's numbers that you need for some of these projects, and sometimes we just don't have those. I've been here for so long. I've seen this camp transition from, you know, unpainted cabins and rusty doors to now beautiful landscaping and freshly painted doors. And it means the world to me. I mean, I can't express in words how much that, you know, the volunteers don't know how much they're giving, you know, and it's just really incredible that they come out here and they're willing to just put in all this time and the sweat and the dirt and the rain to just do something great for these kids, because they really deserve it. I can't express enough how much this camp changes lives. I mean, it changes the lives of the kids. It changes the lives of their families. It changes the lives of the staff. You know, like half of our staff can tell you, know, we wouldn't be who we are today if it weren't for these kids. You know, you learn just as much from them as they learn from you. It's truly a magical place. Stepping out here is like stepping into a different realm of the earth. Everything that seems impossible just is possible here. And it's something that you really can't know until you come out here. And, you know, people come out here and they can just feel the energy of this place. They can feel the positivity, and they can feel the good things that go on here. And it's just awesome, because it's an experience that you can't get anywhere else, in my opinion. It's the reason that I can't leave, you know, the reason that you stick around, because you're like, it's hard work. It's the hardest job you'll ever love. You work so hard and you love every second of it. And it's just incredible. It's such a unique opportunity, and I'm glad that I got to be a part of it.
Kiwanis Club of Bradenton has had a long-standing relationship with the Foundation for Dreams and Dream Oaks Camp, and I think it started a few years ago. We had gone out here. I want to say we had done some exterior work. We had done some painting. We had done what we call a Better Manatee Day here, where we look to see organizations that are deserving of needing some sprucing up and some funding for that, and we come out and roll up our sleeves and do that. And so this year we thought again that partnering with Foundation for Dreams is the way to go. So we're out here and we're doing some painting and some landscaping, and over here we're doing some putting up some chairs and doing some construction. So we have really wanted to continue our helping of this very deserving organization. As many of you may know, the Foundation for Dreams funds Dream Oaks Camp, which is a camp for disabled children, and they very desperately need our help. So that's why we're here today. At Bradenton Kiwanis, we pretty much have our fingerprint in nearly every aspect of community life here in Manatee County. We've been around for almost 100 years. We do a number of service projects throughout our county to help children and their families. We've got here, of course, we're here for Better Manatee Day. We do that annually. We provide not only financial support, but also we roll up our sleeves and we work hard to help everyone. We also, coming up in August, we have our Christmas in August campaign, which is where through a partnership with Lecom Park. We basically take over Lecom Park, and we have a partnership with a number of nonprofits. We fund that so that every student, every homeless child identified through the school district gets an opportunity to come to get a backpack, to get very valuable dental and medical work that they otherwise probably wouldn't get, and to get so that they can start off right on the right foot for school and have everything that they need. We also assist the Salvation Army in doing their bell ringing campaign. And probably something that maybe the public doesn't know about, but that we're involved in every year is we solicit a number of grants from 501c3s, from nonprofits, and we give away hundreds of thousands of dollars a year to deserving nonprofits, so that 1 year, so that Centerstone could get a van, since we've been having such a terrible time with our heroin epidemic, so that children can have food in the summertime. We also partner with another Kiwanis club for our Kids Against Hunger campaign. So when you look at it and you look kind of across the spectrum of our community, we're trying to put our fingerprint on every aspect of that to make every area of our community better. As our need increases, our need to expand increases with Christmas in August. So, I want to say we're going to be coming up on I want to say it's our 7th year with Christmas in August. And we started out kind of doing what I would consider the nuts and bolts, making sure that children had their basic needs. And it just spread like wildfire. And what we learned was that there were so many other areas of need as our population increases, as we have additional issues and challenges that face our community. As you know, we are like knee deep in the opioid epidemic, and that touches families and children. And we've had an increased number of foster children in our community, which creates additional need. And what it really does is it creates additional need for different kinds of services. On a personal level, being a member of Bradenton Kiwanis has been one of the joys of my life. At the expense of getting choked up here on camera, I try to bring my daughter and my husband to all of our events. It's really important to be able to connect with your community. Besides the fact that it just feels good, helping just feels good. It's pretty awe-inspiring when you're part of an organization that will get up on their Saturday early in the morning and not just provide the dollars, which of course is tremendously important, but we'll provide the labor and we'll provide the support. And one of the things that I just love about our organization is that we are directed in helping children through our fellowship and through doing positive things in the community. And you can't help but feel good that you're starting your weekend off right. So it's pretty amazing when you come home from these service projects and you think of, gosh, that swing that we built, disabled children are going to be able to swing on that swing, enjoy the beautiful Florida weather, and get some very needed help and assistance for the parents as well.
Dream Oaks, we are also working on goals with our kids. We have the parents set up. They come in and tell us a couple of things that they want their campers to learn about or to work on. It might be a social skill. It might be just trying something new. It might be brushing their teeth without being prompted. So we do work and collaborate with parents on fulfilling those goals, along with having a lot of fun. My staff is amazing. They're all very like-minded. Most of them are going into the fields of education or into therapies, speech therapy, occupational therapy, nursing. They are all completely devoted to these children. It's amazing to watch them work. We have 7 cabins. 4 of them are used for campers. The others we use as office, nurses area. We service about 300 campers throughout the year. We can hold approximately 50 during the summer. It is so special to have these people come out and devote their Saturday to come out and work. It's hot, it's muggy, and they are sweating, and they are just fixing this place up so it's pristine and ready for our campers to come in next week. the parents are actually what has drawn me out here to begin with. Every Friday we do a talent show when they come to pick up their kids and they're up on stage. They never get to see that happen, or at least not often. I cry every week when they pick them up because the parents have had a week full of rest. They've watched their kids just grow and shine. It's just a wonderful feeling.
Well, usually we're up before everybody else, setting up for all the morning and afternoon activities. So if that's canoeing, we're bringing down the canoes to Hidden Lake for everyone, and we're setting up our arts and crafts room with all the supplies needed and whatever needs to be done to help the camp run, you know.
We spend a lot of the time with the campers. That's all what this place is about, is the kids. So the kids are the number one priority, and whatever we got to do for the kids, we do for the kids, because that's what this is about at the end of the day, is them. You get to learn all about, you have a kid for a week, you'll learn every nook and cranny of that kid by the end of the week, and then by the time the parents come to pick them up, you kind of don't want to get rid of them because that's your little bud, but they got to go home.
So we typically will work with groups of kids at a time. They'll come in and we'll have rotations, and so we get to connect with each kid individually because they're a small group. But overall, we get to see all the kids flourish and really vibe and show what they can do in each activity.
If one child cannot do an activity, then we will not do the activity, because there's no boundaries out here, and we make sure that in every activity there will be none, as far as any kind of boundaries that would regard with the child in their realm of capability.
Yeah, that's all what it's about. Like, these kids don't get a chance to be a regular kid. So this is their place. So if a kid comes out here and they can't do something, we're not going to do it because they've always been excluded. So this is their place where they're a regular person. They don't have a special need. They're still a human at the end of the day. It's great. We're making camp look better. I mean, it's already looked great because this place is beautiful. But with the help of the community, we're making it look 10 times better. So it's going to only go up from here.
I think that, like, as much as the camp is beautiful, as Devontae said, like exactly how it is, but the better we can make the aura for the kids when they're here, it makes it more homey and comforting for them to be here and gives them more of a comfort to come out of their shell and just relax and have a good time.
It's really speechless. Like, these guys dedicated their time and efforts today. We're super appreciative to give this camp an uplifting before these kids come. They are going to really appreciate it when they come. And we as staff also appreciate it because it also makes camp look better and run smoother.
I would say if you have ever had any interest in working with children, that this is the place that you need to be, because it'll change your life and give you a new appreciation and a new perspective on children in general and how inclusion is supposed to be as a whole in society, especially regarding to anyone who is any different from you.
We just want to thank the Kiwanis Club of Bradenton for all of their hard work, support, and love out here at the Foundation for Dreams. None of this would be possible without their extra hands and the children that they brought with us to help further develop our mission. We truly, truly value what you do in the community and for being out here with us, where the things that make you different make you absolutely beautiful in our eyes. Thank you to my staff. Thank you again to each one of you personally for being out here, and come back and visit us during the summer. Woo!